guys, welcome back to the channel. It is me, your girl Baz B, and this is Baz B TV, and we're back with another episode review of Loving Hip Hop's Family Reunion, Season 2, Episode 7, Pride and Prejudice, and Ladybuggate. So the show starts off where we left off last week with Safari and Cisco about to go at it. But we see Rich and Peter, they came in, been the gentleman of the day and pull them apart. Rich just continuously have to keep telling Cisco, like, listen, Cisco, you're doing things at the wrong time. Now is not the time for you to come to this man talking about no damn birthday party that he was invited to 2-3 years ago. It's not the time. This man got a lot more going on. His wife had to really leave him after they thought they was back together because this man got caught sending flowers. Enough is enough, Cisco. You have bigger fish to fry here. You need to go talk to Cyn. And you need to tell that girl you're fucking sorry for being a fuckboy all those years ago. That's what you need to be worried about. So, Safari over there with the rest of the guys. And they just like, hey, you alright, man? I see you, you wilding out. You good? You good? And as they're talking to Safari, Erica starts to walk past and they was like, oh, okay, Erica, you going to sleep? She's like, yeah, I'm about to go back to my room. And she just explains that she feels like Safari acting out the way that he was with Cisco was just him having misplaced anger. And I was like, yeah, because real talk, if Cisco would have probably came to him another time of day, maybe he would have been cool. But see, nigga, I'm already tight, and here you come with this extra shit that I really did not give a fuck about, but I was trying to spare you for. Yeah, it was just not the right time. Safari is upset, and we need to let him cool down a little bit. Peter and Tara, they over there standing to the side, and Amanda walks by talking about how she was going to go to bed, and Peter keeps trying, like, being very flirtatious with Tara, saying, oh, Tara, I can take you back to your room. I can walk you to your room. And Tara's like, I don't need you walking me to my room. And I'm looking like, you want him to walk you to your room. Amina, you might be over the embarrassment, but Tara is not, honey. Tara said that the cooch is hot and ready for that Peter Guns, baby. So the next day we see Stevie and Mimi. They're walking along the beach. And he's just talking to her and saying, like, seeing this whole thing that's happening with Safari. And Erica is really bringing him back to his real fuckboy days. And he just wants to apologize to Mimi and tell her, like, I know I ain't being there for Eva. Eva's their little girl they have together. I know I ain't been there for Eva like that, but I promise I'm about to be back in New York and Atlanta. I'm going to be around more often so I can come see her a lot more. And Mimi just, like, keep the broken promises. Don't talk about it, be about it. And I feel that way too, Mimi. He been doing this for years. We ain't got time for it. So then we have Rich and Cisco talking. They running along the beach or whatever. And Rich just let Cisco know, like, at this given time, you coming at him at that moment made it seem like you was checking him. And Cisco was like, well, at this point, I really am checking him because I invited him and I told people that he was coming. And everybody's looking like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And you made me look like a fool. Now, Cisco, if somebody told me, Baz B, girl, we bring Beyonce to your birthday party. And it's getting to the 8 o'clock hour. Beyonce still not here. 9 o'clock hour. Beyonce still not here. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, where is she at? Where she at? Where is she coming? Ain't nobody fucking looking for no damn Safari. Who was looking for Safari? They was really pressed to see Safari just to be at the birthday party of people that he already damn probably knew. Because his ex, Nikki, that's her ex-manager. Stop it. You doing too much. That's what I be saying. You fucking weird. Rich said, you got bigger fish to fry, as I told him. You need to go apologize to saying you really need to go talk to her and set things straight with her. Safari and Marcus and Peter in the gym working out. I ain't never understand how people just be on vacation and they wake up in the morning and go working out. Because when I'm on vacation, I always seem to drink too much the night before and be hungover for half the day, the second day, and now I'm trying to get myself up for the rest of the night. I ain't got time to be exercising. Bitch, I'm drunk. Anywho. So they in the gym, they talking, and so Mark was like, okay, you gonna have me right for the gym, I'm gonna have you right with the ladies. So he's like, Safari, you need to learn how to communicate. And you also need to take 100% responsibility for what you did. It's being accountable. But I ain't do it. Marcus said, well, it sure looked like you did. And because it looks like you did it, you need to talk to her and explain to her what's going on and have full accountability. So far, that's all we've been asking for you. Full accountability. So he's like, we've been doing this divorce for 5 months. And I mean, yeah, I did it. I did. I got the drink from the girl. I sent her the flowers. I was in these streets. Okay, so far, that's all you got to say. She can either take it or leave it. More likely she gonna take it, because at the end of the day, it is silly of us to believe that because I'm going through a divorce or because I'm breaking up with this man, don't mean this man has to stay on hold until I really decide if that's what I want to do and what I don't want to do. That be that toxic shit in us. Yeah, so just tell her, listen, I didn't think we was getting back together. We was going through the divorce. I was out here in these streets, but I ain't trying to do that no more. Erica take it. She ain't got nothing to do, and y'all need a check. So, a little makeup to break up, get you another season of Love and Hip Hop. Y'all been dragging this out for 2 seasons now. A third one wouldn't hurt. Cyn pulls up on Johnathan, and Johnathan starts to explain to her about his gay pride day that he's going to throw for the family reunion. So as they're talking, Cisco walks up because Johnathan sets up for Cisco to sit down with Cyn so they can clear the air from what happened all these years ago. So Cisco starts to spin the story about how when she was first brought to him by Rich, which is probably part of the problem also about how it's about to go. When Rich brought the girl to him, he was thinking more on the lines of them, dating. So, being a gentleman, as he called it, when you're courting a girl, you're going to start footing all these bills. So, he was like, but when you told me, he said, and so that's what I was doing with the song. I was footing those bills. But, once you finally told me, oh no, this is nothing further than a friendship, this is a business, I'm just here for business, then okay, now I have to pull out the spreadsheets. Let you know that, hey, these people, this costs, and these people has to pay. Okay. I seen when you was going with that, Cisco. Because Cisco also lets it be known that it wasn't just because Cyn always makes it feel like it just was about the pussy. He said it was not just about having sex with her. It was way more than that. But Cisco disclosed to us that he felt like it was more to her wanting to do just a record because she would text him outside of the studio about stuff that didn't have nothing to do with the studio, like going out to eat, having dinner, going to the club or whatever. I mean, if you like somebody and you feel like you got to be on solid ground when it comes to figuring out what's going on, because your mind will have you thinking y'all in a whole relationship and this person just was like, nah bro, I'm just your friend. So I feel like that's what Cisco had going on. So I mean, I'm gonna take it because he don't seem that bright to me in the first fucking place. But Cyn was like, no, you just wanted me for sex. If I would have gave you something in return, if it would have been sex, time, or whatever, I would not have got a spreadsheet. So, Cisco was like, basically not wanting to take accountability about what happened. And so he was just like, I read that wrong. I went about business wrong. I should have told you that it is going to be expenses that you have to pay up front instead of waiting until you decide that you didn't want to be with me. And he was like, as of yesterday, he had sent her back the song. And he was like, its full rights are to you. And he said the profit made off of the song, we'll use that to pay the expenses. Well, Cyn does not want the song no more. She said after the whole ordeal with Cisco, it made her not want to do music no more, and it's taking her all this time to put out any more music. So she really don't need the song, and she feel like her brother is being honored through her songs every time she releases one. But they did end up making up, and that's the end of the Cisco Cyn fiasco. So it's now time for Johnathan's event. He brings on a director from this organization called Born Perfect. They are trying to stop gay conversion therapy, which goes on in many countries and also in the States. And something I never knew is that it's actually legal for them to do in some states here still. So we're all having this conversation, and Johnathan just telling us about the organization, how we can get together to help. He also tells his story of the time with him being in gay conversion and people that he knew there who would end up either committing suicides, having some type of drug addiction, never really, just experiencing a trauma because of the things that they did to basically get that gay out of you. So while Johnathan is speaking, Peter is really going up for Johnathan. Like, he was like, well, where do we need to sign? Because I want to be a part of it. And really everybody was pretty hyped about the situation because a lot of people did not know about this. And I was like, I wouldn't say it. Do y'all not open a book? But it be on TV. The A&E channel. Me having so many documentaries about stuff I don't even be knowing about. And I'll be like, what? Because I heard about this before Johnathan even said something about it those years ago on Love and Hip Hop. I think I had watched like a documentary about a camp they had. Girl, I be all in just down a rabbit hole on this TV. So while he was going up, Amina felt like it was the time for her to spread her wings and fly butterfly. Because she gets on and was like, you're doing all that, but you wouldn't let your son be a ladybug for Halloween. And Peter's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because that's not how that went. That's not how that went. And so Peter gets up on the stage, which, y'all, everybody was arguing. Everybody kept grabbing a microphone during the scene. And I was like, ain't y'all mic'd? Y'all need another microphone to make sure that y'all was going to be heard for the edits. Okay. So Peter gets up on the thing and he's explaining that he don't have no type of problems like that. He's not homophobic, none of that. So, and my mom was like, well, I wouldn't say homophobic because you wouldn't let your son be a ladybug. But what's that toxic masculinity that goes around? Yeah, that was giving me a little bit of those vibes. But let's keep going with the story. So at this point, Peter's upset. So Peter starts to walk off because Amina keeps hollering it out. And Tara gets up on the thing. She was like, listen, y'all, it's not like that. Like, the boy had chose like 3-4 different costumes. I'm not going to keep buying costumes because every time he see a costume, he feel like he's supposed to have that costume. So I'm like, okay, so the ladybug was like the second, third costume that this boy came up with. Okay, whatever. Peter is in the back talking to Cisco and Rich. And Rich like, you need to calm down. Like, you making a big deal out of this. And Peter's just like, oh no, because look how she's trying to make me look. She's trying to make me look like I'm homophobic, and that's not it. And I don't play, like, I could lose my career for that. I'm glad you know. Because that group of people, they don't play. They do not play with your ass. You fuck around and say what you want about them. You see the baby career. You saw damn why isn't Boosie career like canceled? Because like he always got something negative. Well, no, he only say something about Lil Nas X. It's like that's the only gay man he see in this world. Back to the story. So they go back outside. Everybody hollering and stuff, but Peter, oh yeah, before that, Peter let it be known that it was not the case of his son being a ladybug. That was not the problem. The problem was he came with the costume and it came with like stockings or something else, and he was like, it clearly came out of the little girl's owl. So that's why I was like, no, son, that costume is for a girl. So I guess there are different type of ladybug costumes out there, which I do believe. So I do believe it be some in the little boy owl too, but they, don't got all the frilly dress on it in the stockings and stuff. So he was like, that clearly came out the little girl's owl, and that's why he said no, that's for the girls. So Zell said that what Peter had did was the correct thing to do as the father. He should have corrected the little boy and let the little boy know that was not a boy costume, that was for a girl. And that Zell feels like I was raised a man first, and then my daddy let me do what I want to do. So this starts to offend Bobby, who's already offended about the whole costume. So Bobby was like, okay, so what? I didn't have a father in my life, so what's the problem? So Zell keeps saying, that's not the issue at hand. I'm just saying we raised a little differently. And Zell was like, his father being able to instill that masculinity in him made it be able for him to fit into the world a little better. And I'm like, okay, but you need to accept me for how I am. But I was like, Zell, you're not really accepting yourself for who you are, because you said your persona makes it easier for you to exist in this world, which makes me feel like if I'm not in this manly version of me, nobody would accept me. And I don't think that's correct, Zell. Like, we done moved a little further in life. There's still some Karens out there, but we progressing. So everybody at this point is pissed off because, one, Amina, you shouldn't have did that. This is not the time and the place to be doing that. And second of all, that wasn't even your child. That's Tara's child. And I was like, when she said son, I was thinking like, I thought Amina had them two girls with him and Tara had all the little boys. So you was, but okay, go back. Tara, they was like, that was Tara's child. If Tara was not upset about it, then you shouldn't have brought that shit up. And Tara's like, it was fine. It was like he had kept asking for these costumes, and we just wasn't going to keep buying the costumes. It was not like the little boy was upset. Like, the boy could care less if he was going to be a ladybug or not. So this is when Amina starts to go off. I don't care how he looks. I don't care how I make him look. He made me look stupid for all those years on TV. And I look like, because your ass kept coming back. That's why you were looking stupid. But I was not there, because I would have been like, girl, you got to pipe down, because see, that was voluntary what you were doing. This is involuntary what you got going on with him right now. But I was not there. So she just hollering and she goes walk off crying. So Erica was just like, okay, well, everybody's going to try to walk all over Amina, because she's the sweetheart group. So now I got to step up for my girl. And she was just like, listen, this is just a deeper issue that happens in our community and this and that. And Shekinah was like, listen, not just our communities, all communities. And Shekinah, I'm glad you say that, because we always put, bad things that happen to gay people only happens in our black and brown communities. No, it happens in white people communities too, all the time. That's how I found out about it, watching one of their documentaries. And we see a bunch of times when people they don't care. We see a bunch, they be out here homeless and stuff on the ground too. So no, or they make a pretend. So yeah, Shekinah, thank you for pointing out that it's just we're not problematic of this situation. Everybody is. The whole world needs to work on it. Zell ends up pulling Johnathan to the side, and he just wants to, apologize to Johnathan. He never meant anything by trying to be like, oh, you're just too gay for me. It's just how I am for myself. And Johnathan was like, all these people are my friends and stuff, and we all get along, but sometimes I feel like an outsider. And Zell also lets him know, like, me too. Like, just because I fit into this role, I don't see many more gay people like me that's, masculine still want to do things like a boy, but also want to gel my edges down, Zell. Zell on the edge of a jail down, and you was making all them smacking noise doing this presentation. And I was like, but Zell, you got a little gay to you. Like, I was done. It was the edges for me. Bobby is talking this in. He was just like, I'm mad because I got so upset and I couldn't really articulate what I was trying to say. But it's just the fact of him being so dismissive of what the situation at hand is, and like, you're not gay, like, you can't go through these issues either. And he was like, and then to continuously keep saying something about, because I was raised by a man. I was raised by a man. And I wasn't raised by a man. My dad was nowhere in my life. Zell goes over to Bobby and, he starts to apologize to him. And he was just like, it was just things in my life that made me have to change how I was. And Zell talks about the fact that when he was little, he was starting to have feminine ways about himself. And a lot of the kids started to pick on him because of it. And so the dad started to instill that masculinity into him. And that's why Zell felt like he could feel better in the world and not be judged. And Bobby discloses that he was like, you had gay conversion therapy. I had the church, the black church. And him saying how his pastor went to his mother and explained to his mother because he had his elbows out, he had feminine ways. Because a man walks with his elbows in. And I was like, baby, I didn't even know. I had to start thinking about it when I was like, no, we sure do. I didn't even recognize that. But that's what the church did to Bobby. And, that started a whirlwind for him trying to be accepted and loved and not picked on or not felt less than of a man because he was gay. It was really nice. They all got together and they hugged it all out, and everybody is back to being as gay and as not gay as they want to be. Well, guys, that's the end of the review. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye.